Morning, brothers and sisters. How you guys doing? All the jackrabbits in my neighborhood are changing colors. It's exciting. It's amazing how God, just in these jackrabbits, you can see his signature telling you that the seasons are changing. So the farmers here in my area, before they could use technology and essentially cheat their way out of it, used everything that God gave them through nature to figure out, okay, you know, it's actually starting to warm up, and they can start preparing for their next farming season. I was praying this morning on, you know, why things have slowed down significantly for the channel, and it's gonna sound so obvious. But sometimes obvious isn't the first thing that we see. Really, what is obvious? But my channel, our channel, primarily in the beginning was just about observing day to day everything that we saw kind of going on in the world, and obviously the last 2 years has been a huge marker in the timeline that is the end times. And so it primarily was more reporting on that, and so therefore there was well, there is still something new happening every day. There is definitely a distraction happening every single day, and what I see from a lot of these channels is that's their MO. That's their meat and potatoes. They take kind of the daily news and then break it down, and you know, depending on wherever they've been led from, we'll explain it. And you know what? All the power to them. You know, if that's what they want to do, if they want to choose that to be a career, whatever the case may be, that's never been my aspiration here. And God made it very, very clear to me right from the beginning that it never was going to get large. Always compared our channel's numbers to a church, and there was a time where I focused heavily on, you know, numbers, and now I'm very thankful that even one of you takes a second out of your precious time, because it is precious, you guys, to even listen to anything that comes out of my mouth. And for whatever reason, brothers and sisters, whether it is that you needed a word, companionship, there's a wide variety of reasoning, that is for sure. And again, at the end of the day, I'm not here to judge. I'll leave that to the Almighty. I just know personally in my walk, He doesn't want me focusing on the world anymore. And although we've been programmed to do so for so long, it's still not easy, you guys. And I'd be a fool to lie to you and tell you that it is, and to make you think that I have it all together, because I am, again, as I have mentioned many a time, I'm a filthy rag. Definitely, I'm the least, for sure. And I guess that's what my message is going to be here today for you guys. If I'm picking up what I'm picking up from what's going on in my situation, and knowing that we are all connected, and although every situation looks different, it's all one and the same, it's still a refining moment. It's not easy, you guys, I guarantee it. And so I want to remind you today that God only and I mean only, gives you what you can handle. And now let's use spiritual discernment and break that down for a second and understand what that means. Well, for him to give you only what you can handle, it means you're ready. You're ready for that moment. And what is the purpose of a trying moment? And that is to refine you by fire, to refine your spirit by fire. And only the authority or the thought giving over to the fact that it's overwhelming makes it overwhelming. I know this is one of those, well, it's easier said than done. It's true. It is definitely easier said than done, brothers and sisters. But if you take a step back and stop worrying about the bigger, overwhelming what if, which is an illusion. The what if is such an illusion, you guys. It does not exist. Why? Because it hasn't happened. So therefore, who's planting seeds of doubt or fear through the what if? Well, that's our enemy, because that's all he has. He's a giant what if. He's a giant, well, maybe if this happened, well, then this would happen. And then, you know what, maybe then this would happen. And so if you think about it, he's got you fumbling in the something that will never happen. And how many times in your walk have you thought something was going to go a certain way and it went completely sideways the other way, whether it be bad or good? I'll give you an example. I was taking some classes for work to try to move ahead in the system, and the very first one, it was there was a rumor that it was the toughest because it was kind of a bits and pieces of a wide variety of a lot of different subjects. And so there were many people actually failing this class. That freaked me out because, you know, I'm not that guy. I'm not a school guy for sure. I learned more in my parking lot than I actually did inside school, which I imagine most of you beautiful, peculiar people have done. Praise be to God. And so I, took the dive in, took this course, and I had told myself when I wrote the exam, because like this exam felt like, I could do surgery on somebody at the end of it. That's how difficult this exam was. Instead of them asking a question and then you picking an answer, it was they gave you the answer and then you had to pick the question. It was just total backwards thinking, and that was part of the deception. Anyways, I wrote this exam and I remember sitting there going, yeah, I failed it. I know I failed it. Like, that was ridiculous. And just listening to everybody else and all this stuff and just tons of negativity. Well, sure enough, brothers and sisters, I end up passing it and with a decent grade, comparatively to what I'm used to. We'll put that way. So I was stunned, extremely grateful, and was taught definitely a lesson that our words do speak life and death, and that when we're so preoccupied on what we think is going to happen, God's got other plans most of the time. Our ways are not his ways. We know that. So then I decided to be brave and take another class, and so I did so. And when I wrote this exam this time, I was like, you know what? I nailed it. Just crushed it. Well, yeah, you already know the outcome. I failed. And so I was sitting there. I remember sitting in my car and trying to analyze, like, what happened, what just happened. And the only lesson was stop worrying about outcomes that you have no control over. And I know, yeah, I could have been more prepared, this and that, and whatever. No, the way it should have went, it was the opposite both times. And so that's helped me and led me to believe and helped me understand, that we need to stop worrying about outcomes and thinking how they're going to be or how they should be, and just let our beautiful Creator, the Almighty, continue to keep working through us to get what he needs to get done. And our only responsibility through free will is to accept the fact that what is happening to us needs to happen to us. It needs to, brothers and sisters, to help refine our spirit. And so when we can actually embrace knowing that what is happening to us needs to happen, it helps take the edge off, as it should, brothers and sisters. Knowing that the love of Jesus Christ is to only help us persevere and not to be a detriment will help ease your spirits on anything that you're going through right now. Because the only reason why he's allowing it to happen to you is because it needs to happen to you. And I know it sounds basic, you guys. And in fact, most things that that our Creator is trying to teach us are basic thoughts. It's the confusion is what makes it difficult. It's our enemy and his whispering and us believing and giving authority over to those whispers is what's convincing us that it's more complicated than it actually is. So what's an easy way to step back from it all and to understand it for how basic and how beautiful it is? Well, that's exactly that, you guys. Take a step back from it. Pull yourself out from the cog of the machine for a moment and breathe. Breathe. You see, the devil wants to keep you in this perpetual motion of chaos so that you cannot stop and breathe. Because when you stop and breathe, you start noticing things like how beautiful the sky is and how Jackrabbit's fur is starting to change color. You guys, we make the decision to make it more complicated than it needs to be. We do. Our enemy whispers the thought. We accept that thought and either through free will say, you know what? I'm going to give that thought authority so that it can rule my being for the moment, or get behind me, Satan, and let Jesus show you how beautiful everything is. So guys, I'm just here to tell you today that you are loved more than you'll ever possibly know. That exactly what's happening to you at this exact moment in time is with such perfect precision to help you become who you need to be. And that it's our own authority given over to the other guy is what is standing in the way of allowing that to happen and accepting it. Because although it mostly does not look like what we think it's supposed to look like at the time, brothers and sisters, we need to step back from ourselves, our pride, our ego. Step back and let Jesus take the wheel. Let him take the wheel. We are terrible drivers anyways, you guys. The worst. And what would you rather do? Would you rather not sit in shotgun and look at the beauty that is the creation and let Jesus drive? Or would you rather be white knuckling it the whole way through, wondering when the next off turn is? Should I get off now? Should I get off now? No. Guys, take a step back and breathe. Honestly, no matter what it looks like right now, however chaotic it looks like right now in your life, remember that it's there for a reason. I love you guys so much so that I may do another tomorrow if he puts it on my spirit. God bless y'all. Have a blessed day. Love you.